really PV welcoming Cardinal into the NAC, which they'll be joining next year in grand fashion. And in fact, 48-0 was the final in that one. And it was the pure rushing attack and strength that you would expect out of PV. But without further ado, let's bring our second player of the week, first guest on tonight's show, and it's going to be Ty Vickery from Pymatuning Valley. Ty Vickery is no stranger to this award. I do believe this is his third player of the week, as he has been the starting running back for the PV Lakers since his sophomore year. Talk about baptism by fire. Ty, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. So, you guys go out there. You had a big win in week 1 over Mineral Ridge, and I think that was one that, every game is important, but some games get a double circle. And the way that one ended last year, I know did not sit well with any of you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Hard game last year. Tough pill to swallow. It was crazy losing on the last play of the game. It definitely shot in the heart. And so this year we came out with some firepower, and we were ready to put it to them.
And you guys, you most certainly did exactly that. So, let's talk a little bit about the game last week. You go into Cardinal. Cardinal, a very tough team, much like your guys, much like your team in PV. Rural area, kids who go out there, strength, conditioning, big time, big deal. You guys have to go to Cardinal. Go there. They're going to be joining the NAC next year. What was it like getting ready for the game last week?
It was. We had to just. It was a good game. Last year's game was a close game. So we just had to execute during practices. And yeah.
Yeah, so you talked about last year's game, another close one in that one. It certainly wasn't close this year.
Yeah.
You guys, you went out there, and right from the opening whistle, you guys go out there and get the job done. What was it like getting out there and feeling like you had your feet underneath of you? You're coming into your senior year, things are going to change a little bit. But this game, you guys really had a firm grasp on from the opening whistle.
Yeah, it felt good. It felt good going up. I think it was running clock by second quarter. So, it was a good game to – be up, just ride out the win. So,
yeah, and you talk about the running clock, and for those of you who aren't familiar with that, they do have a rule in Ohio. Once you have reached, let's get that off the screen so they can see the star of the show, right? That's you, not me. The running clock, which is 30 before halftime. You guys had reached that and some. You guys have been involved in quite a few games like that.
Yeah.
What are is it difficult to kind of keep your head in the game when you guys are winning like that?
Yeah, it's very difficult when you go up, props to them. They're a good team, good coach. But it's really hard to get into the game at that point when you're already up by so much and, nothing's really going on, offensive side and defensive side,
Yeah, now let's talk a little bit about Coach Croston. When you guys are up in games like that, what are some of the things he does to maybe, kick you and Ryan and the rest of the guys right in the butt and let you know you're still playing football?
He definitely he started screaming at us. We were getting a little sloppy out there at the end of the game. He didn't know if a lot of us were awake at the end of the game. So, just him being vocal, it helps us out a lot.
So now you have started for this program for 4 years on defense, but on the offensive side of the ball, you take over the reins for Devin Ray, who took over the reins for Jonah Wilkerson. So a long history of great running backs coming out of PV. Was there any sort of pressure on you coming into that sophomore year to lead up and make sure you hit those what they expect out of their running backs?
Oh yeah, lots of pressure. But at the same time, you just got to go out there and do your job. And at the end of the day, that's what I try to do. That's what I strive to do this year. I'm trying to, break some records around PV and get my name known.
Well, you certainly got a nice start on it at 260 yards after just 2 games, and really just 2 halves of football, that you've gotten to really be in the starter in. But, let's talk about the fact you're a senior this year. So, last year, sophomore year, you're kind of trying to prove yourself. Junior year, you're establishing yourself. Now, as a senior, I think people are looking to you for leadership. They're looking for you for the Laker way. What were some of the things that you wanted to make sure you got ready for your senior year?
Just staying healthy throughout the year. Just getting the other kids ready too. And then I wanted to, get some college's attentions because at the end of the day, that's where I wanna. That's what the goal is. Going to college. But yeah, just trying to just get everything, situated. And then when we leave, me and Ryan, everybody just they got us. They're good. Everything's good.
So, is there any part of your game that you looked to improve on from last year? Now, last year you had a wonderful year.
Mhm.
1,500 yards, more touchdowns than I've got fingers. You really got the job done. But you've come out this year and you look better. You're finding the holes better. You seem to be, you're not getting tired, that sort of thing. What are some of the things you wanted to do in the offseason to actually prepare for this year?
One thing I would say is definitely conditioning. Being a two-way player. I mean, it's really hard.
Yes, it is.
And um, I'd say like doing a lot of like cutting, like moving fast. Because I'll say it, I'm not a small guy. So being able to move, laterally it definitely helps in the game.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of bulldozer in you.
Yeah.
That's what we call you, the bowling ball, the bulldozer, Mr. 2-point conversion. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But you've worked on your footwork and that sort of thing. That's on the offensive side of the ball. On defense, you always seem to be toward the top of the numbers when it comes to tackles every year.
Mhm.
What's something you focused on the defensive side?
A lot of things. It's tackling for sure. Open field tackling, getting off of the defensive blockers for sure. Offensive linemen. That's something I've been trying to work on the past couple games too at practice. So just being mean and just going out there with some authority for sure.
Yeah, and it certainly has worked. You've been a mainstay for this Laker team for the last 3 years, and I don't expect that to change this year. What are some of the other things you do in the off season? Other sports and that sort of thing.
I play baseball. That's running a lot. Um, that's honestly about it. Well, in the off season, me, Ryan, a lot of the other guys, we just go out there and play football on the field. Just basically just trying to figure out what's going to happen this year and just going through the motions.
You guys don't pass the ball too much, do you?
We don't. But no, we pass there. We don't pass on the field.
That's so you guys are practicing for the passes
Exactly.
for the
Yeah.
4 times a year. You're going to call it
Exactly.
so, coming into this year, obviously you're a senior, and after this year, you've got colleges and sort of that sort of thing. What are your plans for postgraduate stuff? What are you thinking of?
I'm not too sure right now. I'm still trying to weigh some options, but ultimately there's going to be something there for me.
So you want to play football in college? Are you looking on the offensive side of the ball, the defensive side of the ball, or wherever they're going to pay the most of your tuition?
That and I'm trying to see some offensive side. Hopefully, maybe they can throw me in. Maybe I can block. Wherever they need me, wherever the team needs me, I'll be there and I'll be ready for it.
So you obviously you play on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball. You're very good on both. Which one does Ty Vickery like to do more? Do you like to lay the hits or do you like to give the hits?
See, if you would have asked me my freshman year, I would have definitely told you defense because that's where I played. Being a senior now, I've learned I'm going to say offense. I'm sorry, Coach Root. I'm going to say offense. It's just fun. It's fun being able to run the ball, but it's also fun playing defense. So I'm going to get – I don't know. It's both ways. I'm not going to lie.
So, Ty, one of the things about you is your style of running. You know what I mean? It's very physical. It's bruiser type. You run a lot of 2-point conversions in. So, it's 5 yards, 8 yards, whatever it is, and you seem to get into that end zone. You break away. And which ones do you like more? Do you like the breakaway ones, or do you like when you're running the guy over and getting to see this after?
I'm not gonna lie. I do not like the breakaway ones. I don't like running far distances. I like running people over. That's definitely a sure thing.
So, do you spend a lot of time in the weight room, or what do you do to just get, or does it come natural?
Well, yeah, we're always in the weight room. But I think a little bit of it is natural. Definitely not the speed, that's for sure. But I mean, we're we're trying to work on that. So,
Well, listen, we always talk about the speed with Pymatuning Valley and, that they're not necessarily the speediest team, right? But, 2 years running, you guys have won the fastest team at the combine. I got 5 trophies, and you guys took 4 of them
Yep.
to PV this year. You've got a heck of a freshman class this year coming in. You've got a lot of young guys who are making a big difference. What are some of those guys doing to help you get better?
you know, they're they're just being there. Being there helps us out a lot. Like on offense, we have a defensive scout team. It just helps us out a lot. Some of those guys they play, they're starters, and so that helps us a lot. And me being vocal to them is a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, it always helps. You know what I mean? PV, regardless of the wins and losses, Division 6 school, not a huge enrollment. Every kid counts.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it. You're getting ready. Obviously, we still got an entire season to get through. But and you might not be able to answer this. I didn't prep you on this one.
Okay.
As you get ready to leave PV and Andover and this Laker Nation, what are some of the things that you want to tell the younger guys when they, put on that Laker uniform?
One of the things I would say is definitely just go out there with your heart and play as hard as you can. That's like all you can say. That's all you can prep them for. Just go out there, listen to the sounds of the crowd, look at the lights. Just live it up, live the moment. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that PV crowd is no joke. I am not playing when I tell you guys the cowbells are ringing, the people are yelling, there are, noisemakers, trucks going off, headlights, horns, everything. The home field advantage in Andover is real. You can hear it all the way at Pymatuning Lake when you're pulling up to the stadium. It's the real deal, folks. If you haven't been there, you got to get there. I was surprised myself. The first time I called a game in there, I thought I was going to have to mute the mic. It was so loud in there. Those guys really get it done. How does that kind of help you? Does that pump you up when that crowd is super loud?
Oh yeah, it definitely helps you. I mean, I couldn't do it without them, to be honest. I can't play in silence. You got to have the crowd. The crowd definitely makes the game 10 times better, for sure.
Yeah, it's been awesome getting to watch you, and I can't wait to see how the rest of this year goes. But we got to talk about this week's game a little bit. You guys are getting ready to face off against the Jefferson Falcons, another South Ashtabula County team, and I did find the year. So the last year, this used to be a yearly rival, a big time rival. Couple guys that work at Jefferson are actually on the coaching staff at PV, including Coach Root, who was mentioned during this interview. 2001 was the last time. I don't even think you were born yet.
I was not.
Yeah, that's how long that is. You weren't even born yet. Are you guys getting real pumped up for this one? How is that going as a county rivalry is seemingly getting renewed?
We're definitely pumped up because with them being a close school to us, we know some of the guys obviously, and there's a little bit of some talk going around. Obviously, you have to have the talk, and so we're ready to put it to them. That's all I'm going to say. That's the best I can say it. We're ready.
That's the best way you could put it. And I'll tell you what, it's been an awesome time getting to watch it. I'm looking forward to getting to watch it for the rest of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, our player of the week for week 2 here on the 440 Sports Show, presented by Sposito Insurance, Ty Vickery.